Sometimes I feel so utterly alone. Yet I exist in a period in history where humanity is the most connected it has ever been. Communication is near instant, and everyone we've ever known or cared about seems to be just one call or one text message away. Yet somehow we are all lonelier for it. Last year, Harvard University released a paper on the friendship recession, a term that defines the decline in the number of close friendships and the time adults spend with their friends. A study by the PEW Research Center found that in 1990, about 3% of American adults reported to having zero close friendships. In 2021, that number had quadrupled to 12%. The amount of people that reported to having just one close friendship also went up from 4% to 7%. And the amount of people that reported to having 10 or more close friendships is down from 33% as of 1990 to now just 13% as of 2021. There's a multitude of reasons why a lack of intimate relationships among adults has become a growing trend. I personally can attest to not spending as much time as I would love to with my friends because we are all the dreaded B word. But aside from the economic pressures of today turning free time into a luxury, there are other, more sinister forces at play. Social media may have promised us an easier way of staying connected, but now I feel that a lot of us use it to consume people rather than connect with them. Too many times have I put on the odd video essay just because I was feeling lonely and wanted someone to talk to, when I could have just as easily called a friend or family member. We're wired as humans to seek out the easiest solutions. Why start a conversation with a friend when you don't really have that much to talk about and might just end up on the call in awkward silence, when you could easily just go on TikTok and find a joke to laugh at in 3 swipes or less? It's a very low stakes approach to connecting with people that doesn't require any risk taking on your part. Not to mention the individuals that have removed human connection altogether and are now looking to artificial intelligence to cure their lack of intimacy.
Look in the camera and tell me how you really feel about AI. Fuck AI.
Unfortunately, the more we keep choosing this easy way out, the more our isolation becomes less of a choice and more of a default setting, to the point where hanging out with friends starts to feel like this big ordeal with high stakes that requires much more effort than it used to. Social media also trains us to view people as products that can be accurately qualified at a single glance. Aesthetics and trends become markers of what's cool and attractive, and before you know it, you're hyper-analyzing people based on the perceived value you think you can extract from them.
Well, what about like connecting with her because you like her or something like that? You know, like maybe you want to start a family.
But where's the ROI in that?
What's that?
Like, where's the ROI?
Sorry, what's ROI?
Return on investment.
The sad part is that, as paradoxical as it sounds, lonely people crave isolation. Loneliness has the power to influence human behavior in many profound ways, and one common manifestation of loneliness is the tendency to self-isolate. According to an article posted by Conversations to Remember, people may self-isolate for a number of reasons: a fear of rejection, their negative self-perception, or just to have some level of control over their environment. As Generation X wrote in their wonderful song, "There's nothing to lose and there's nothing to prove when I'm dancing with myself." But therein lies the question. If the data suggests that there is a friendship recession and we are all slowly becoming lonely people that reluctantly choose to self-isolate, how then can we stay connected and continue to form the meaningful relationships that are essential to our existence as human beings? Well, not to worry, because in this video, I'll be sharing with you some tips on making friends with lonely people, brought to you by a professional lonely person. Pro tip number 1. Vulnerability is the water that helps relationships grow and blossom. That's why I'm always sharing stuff with you guys. It's important to note that being vulnerable is not revealing too much too soon or sharing your biggest misfortunes with someone that didn't really ask. That would be trauma dumping. Rather, vulnerability is your willingness to reveal your emotions or weaknesses even if there is a potential for rejection. Vulnerability is essential when making friends with lonely people because it helps create a mutual understanding and empathy between the two of you, which is crucial for building a connection. Unfortunately, vulnerability isn't something that comes naturally to everybody. Speaking from my experience, I believe that men have a much harder time being vulnerable than women. This isn't due to anything innate to women or men, but rather, I'm convinced that because of patriarchal standards, men are socialized to undervalue emotional intelligence and view being vulnerable as a different flavor of being weak. Whereas women are socialized to be more in tune with their emotions and offer a more appropriate amount of value to their social interactions and support systems/communities. Now, of course, this isn't a rule that is set in stone. I have made friends with some of the most wonderful and lovely men that communicate very effectively, and I have met women who do in fact view being vulnerable as being weak. The takeaway is that nobody is naturally inclined to be more vulnerable than the other, and if vulnerability is something that you struggle with, You can 100% get better at it, and I'll share with you how. Step 1. Discuss vulnerability itself. How do you feel talking about your feelings? And how did you feel the last time you opened up and expressed how you were feeling? Did you feel seen? Did you feel heard? Or did you feel judged? Step 2. Name a fear. Research shows that naming your emotions has the ability to help them feel less intense. Rather than amplifying a feeling, labeling it helps you process it and move on more quickly. Step 3. Discuss a recent experience. And step 4, share a goal. Keep in mind that as we practice these 4 steps and start to develop an appreciation for vulnerability, there are people that will try to take advantage of our honesty. It's important that we remember that the best way to know if someone is trustworthy is to trust them. And if someone proves themselves to not be trustworthy, then the problem is with them and not with us. Let's try our best not to blame ourselves for their actions and retreat back into our shells.
We rip out so much of ourselves to be cured of things faster that we go bankrupt by the age of 30 and have less to offer each time we start with someone new. But to make yourself feel nothing so as not to feel anything. What a waste.
You people should know that I will not start a video without first of all blaming society. And by society, I mean the way we grow up, the environment we grow up in, the things we consume from the media, basically everything, every outside factor that affects our mindscape. Now, you might grow up in an environment where they tell you do not trust this person, do not trust this person, and they're always telling you to be careful of the friends you keep, which in one sense might be useful advice, but at the end of the day, it kind of makes people scared of creating genuine connections with other people based on what the older ones and wiser ones are telling them. What solution do I have to eat? Obviously, as the baby anarchist that I am, I think everybody should fuck society, genuinely, because society tells us a lot of things to do, but like these things are not really beneficial to us at the end of the day. So I think the best thing that someone can do to overcome this is to realize that society does not give a shit, and you shouldn't give a shit about society too. Do you? Give yourself time and challenge yourself to face these fears, because at the end of the day, human beings cannot live in isolation, and that is the truth. We require one another, one way or the other. We're just interlinked like that. Bye.
Pro tip number 2. Don't treat people as a means to an end. This should be pretty obvious, but humans are complex beings with entire worlds of their own. Making meaningful connections with other individuals is a worthwhile goal in and of itself. Yes, people can be gateways to opportunities and valuable information, but it is beyond short-sighted to treat them merely as such. Get out of the habit of consuming people. By this, I mean treating them like products or services that exist for your amusement or benefit. Get into the habit of being a host and a guest. Put a conscious effort into being a part of someone else's world and welcoming them into yours. The whole return on investment approach to dealing with people is why we are on the cusp of making ultra-realistic sex dolls.
I can make you happy, Josh. I can make you so happy.
Pro tip number 3. Curb your all or nothing mentality. I see a lot of people online say that they do not like small talk. If your goal is to make friends with lonely people, it is important that you do not think this way. Like I said earlier, every individual has a whole other world inside of them, and if you do not like small talk, how then do you expect to get your foot in the door? Real life interactions between humans are not as instantly gratifying as social media would have you believe. My friends, for one, can testify that in person, I'm a lot less outspoken and my sentences don't just feed into each other like they do on YouTube. Which is why it's important that you start small. A simple compliment will go a long way. And just having a genuine interest in what someone else is doing at a given point in time could be a far greater catalyst for forming a connection than any deep conversation ever could. And lastly, pro tip number 4, never take it personally. Lonely people are like stray cats. Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're feral. The trick is to never take whatever response you get personally. Like the popular saying goes, it takes 2 to tango. And regardless of how excited you might be to form a connection, if they just aren't, They just aren't. Likewise, if you are in a relationship with someone and you just continue to receive and receive and receive without putting in any effort to grow the connection that you have with the other person, pass the controller. Don't fall into the habits of always giving or receiving. Remember, it takes two individuals to grow a healthy connection, and the responsibility of doing that should never fall on just one person. There is nothing wrong with you. However, the landscape surrounding Gen Z relationships certainly has a few problems, to say the least. My hope with making this video is that I could help make things a little bit better and slightly lower the barriers that exist between us. Don't give up on people, and don't give up on yourself. Go talk to a lonely person today. Also, while you're here, go check out my friend's short film called Journeys of Singleness. It's now available to watch for free on YouTube, and it's the first link in the description of this video. Thank you!